Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of the Clover Street podcast. And today I'm going to be speaking with an entertainer in every aspect. He is a comedian, he is a singer, and he is a theater actor as well. And his name is Darius Marguel. Suirad Marguel is his performing name. But we're going to meet him, find out what he's all about. So stick around for a great edition of the Clover Street podcast. All right, Darius, we got you on the line, buddy.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah.
I am doing fantastic. I did a little bit of research on some of the stuff that you've done, but I really want to kind of leave it up to you to tell people that, delve into it a little more deeply. I saw some of the stuff you did with The Wiz, and that looked really amazing, especially the costume you were wearing. That must have been amazing. So, but tell us a little bit. Give yourself an introduction and tell us about who you are, where you're from, and what you do, and all that. All right.
All right. Well, my name is Darius Nelson. I'm a resident of Norfolk, Virginia. I've been living here all my life, ever since I was young. And I'm a performing artist. I've been performing for almost a decade now. I've been performing professionally. I do acting. I do stand-up comedy, musical theater. I went to a performing arts school in New York called the American Musical and Dramatic Academy. And I attended Granby High School. So after high school, I went to New York to study performing arts. Now I'm back home, and I'm teaching people about performing arts. Getting my hands on anything I can as far as art concerns. I'm actually working on an album right now. I have a song out called Supernova. It's my first single.
Yeah, that song is great. I'd actually, if you don't mind, I'd like to play that for the audience near the end of the interview.
Okay, sure.
I got it all queued up and ready to go. It is a really good song.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was jamming to it a couple of times.
So you're a big fan of funk. You like pop.
I do.
Music?
It's funny. I was actually raised by my dad, who is a jazz guitarist. He's been playing jazz guitar for his whole life, pretty much, ever since he was a teenager. And so I grew up very young with an appreciation for jazz music. And I can appreciate, George Clinton and some of the funkadelic kind of stuff too. It's,
Oh yeah.
so much of our
The good
music is
stuff.
rooted. Yeah, absolutely. It's a great. I love the bass line throughout it. I would like for you to maybe sometime send me a copy of the lyrics though, because I can't really understand everything that's being said, but it sounds like it has some pretty cool lyrics in it too.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I actually that song was inspired by Greek mythology. I'm a big fan of mythology, and I was just imagining what if in the beginning of time a beautiful woman strutted across the universe and created the stars and the sun, and that's how I came about with the concept of supernova. I'm comparing women to light.
Darius, are you single?
I'm actually, yes, I am.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, after this interview, you might not be, because you are earning some serious brownie points with the ladies, giving an explanation like that. That's great. It is a really good song, though. And now, have you put out a whole album? Do you have a whole album's worth of songs? Or, like, how many songs have you actually put together? And what is your part in it? Do you write the songs? Do you help produce them? Or what exactly?
Yeah, so I actually write the songs, and I also compose them, but I'm not a musician. I actually use an app on my phone to compose the pieces, and I sometimes I beatbox.
Did you say you beatbox?
Yeah, beatbox.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like,
That is
do
awesome.
the percussion with my mouth,
They need to bring that back.
stuff like that.
Yeah. That's fantastic. I grew up with the Fat Boys, so
I'm not that good though.
no.
I'm not like.
They're a whole next level kind of thing.
So yeah, I write the songs, and I go to studios, and I present my compositions to producers, and they revamp them. They bring them to life. So what I'm actually doing, the project that I'm working on is an album, and I'm piecing together songs as I go along. Most people already have their songs they know what their songs are going to be on the album, but I'm actually recording songs, and every time I finish one, I'm going to put that on the album. I'm going to have about 8 songs in the finished project. So I'm actually on the 4th one.
4th album?
Right now. The 4th single.
Oh,
that's going to
okay.
be on the album.
And what is the name of the actual album going to be?
So I'm going to name the album All of the Above, because I'm a big fan of all genres of music.
Okay.
And I know a lot of music artists, they stick to one genre, but it's very hard for me because I like, and I respect all types of music. So it's hard for me to really, and I like singing different ways, so I can't really choose a genre, to stick with.
Right,
so
right, sure.
This album is going to be a little bit for everybody.
So when we go into the record store and we're trying to find your stuff, we're going to have to go over to the section that says Other. Right?
Other, yep.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Now,
all of the above.
have you received any formal vocal training for singing, or is this just sort of a natural ability you discovered in yourself, or what?
Well, it was something that came naturally. I actually, a lot of music artists, they talk about how long they've been singing since they were young. I actually didn't really take it seriously until I was like a teenager. But I was always singing and enjoyed music. And but more than anything, I've always enjoyed making people laugh. So
yes.
I wasn't really into making music. This is something that I impulsively decided to do because a lot of people, I realized my friends didn't know that I could actually sing. They knew that I did acting, but they didn't know. And it's weird because I did musical theater, but they didn't know that I really, really could sing. So I'm actually doing this project to just show another side of my artistry. So
and probably
people will enjoy it.
If you started out singing when you were a teenager, then you kind of went through that puberty section where your voice was changing a bit, right?
Yeah.
Because you can get pretty high up there now.
Yeah. I actually, I was singing when I was younger too, but it's one of those things that I would sing because I like music. I didn't really think, oh, this is something I'm good at.
Yeah.
If that make any sense.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's funny. My dad being an accomplished musician, I have absolutely no ability to play any kind of musical instrument at all. I have a keyboard that I fool around with and just play stuff by ear, but I'm just the big disappointment in the family. I use money. I use my voice to make my money, so I know what that's like. But I'm just more of a talking kind of guy,
But hey, I mean, as far as singing and the acting, the ability to change your tone,
sure.
and all of that stuff, it goes hand in hand, telling the story.
Yep. One thing that's actually helped me is I can pick up accents, even the slightest little bit of an accent in somebody's voice. And I can't always tell where they're from, but I can hear that accent. So I know it's a little bit different. I've never received any voice coaching or anything like that, but in the voiceover business, they want to get people in there that don't really have any kind of an accent. They want you to be able to turn on any kind of an accent, but if you always have like sort of a southern drawl and you can't ever turn that off, then that's really going to limit you on the commercials and stuff that you can do. So,
oh yeah,
but it's good to be versatile, So
yeah.
let's go ahead.
No, I was saying that's interesting because I know a lot of people. It makes sense because there's a lot of actors with accents and they don't really change up their voices. I guess they get hired because of their natural.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
accent.
Morgan Freeman, he's there's no way he's ever going to change the way he talks, but that's why people hire him. They love that voice. They wouldn't want him to talk any other way. Have you ever
be entertaining to see though?
Have you ever heard of Studio Center or Earworks?
I believe so. Is that in California?
No, it's in Virginia Beach.
Oh.
Yeah,
well,
I'm in Virginia too. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about your stand-up comedy because that is just the side I'm most interested in. I watched like a little 4 or 5 minute clip of your stuff, and it was great. It was great. You have the confidence. Your timing is there. I mean, man, how long have you been doing stand-up comedy?
Not long. It's out of everything that I do, I think stand-up comedy is the most intimidating
Yeah,
because it's
yeah,
just you
sure.
and
And all those
you're
judging
actually,
eyes on you.
yeah, and making people laugh. That I mean, the sole purpose of trying to make someone laugh is really it's a challenge,
Right.
and you have to trust your instincts. So it's always intimidating.
You know what's funny too is if you have some material you wanted to try out on a friend and you're just sitting riding in the car together and you tell him your bit, he's going to react a lot differently than perhaps a room with 50 or 300 people in it, you know.
Yeah,
He's going to really
I,
listen to it and pick it apart and say, maybe throw a couple of suggestions in there of how you can change it. But
I think that's poison. I think it's poison when you actually perform in front of people without the confidence. Unless you,
oh yeah.
until you have the confidence, I think that's when you should present. But if you don't have confidence and you're looking for approval or someone to correct your jokes or something, I don't think that's because it's no longer your personality's coming out.
Right. Well, some of the best comedians, they'll get their material that they've been working on and just go into a room full of people and just try it out that way, and see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
how did you like do an open mic night one time, or what was your very first entrance into that world?
Yeah, my very first stand up comedy was at an open mic spot called the Venue on 35th Street.
Which
And
what city is that in?
that's in Norfolk.
Oh, is it?
It's
Oh, okay.
literally called the Venue on 35th Street.
Okay. Is that
Yeah,
primarily stand up comedy, or is that all kinds of performances?
all kinds of performances.
Okay.
I think they used to have open mics on Mondays. I think they changed it to Wednesdays. But I did my first bit there. I did about 5 minutes, and it turned out really well. I was kind of I was shocked at the reaction that I got because it was the first time I've done it, and people seemed to really enjoy it, and it was confirmation that it was something I should continue to do.
Yeah, and you were the clip I saw. I think you were at the Funny Bone. Is that right?
Yeah, the Funny Bone, and I performed at the Z in Virginia Beach too. That's across the street from the Funny Bone.
I don't know that one. Okay, okay. The Funny Bone
It's brand
is.
new.
Oh, is it? Okay, okay. Well,
Yeah, yeah, it's new.
they're right across the street from each other, huh?
Yeah, it's
Huh.
very like
Interesting.
literally walk across the street.
Yeah. So now, when you went to the Funny Bone, how did that go?
It went well. And that event was the Clash of the Comics. So they had 12 comedians, amateur comedians, competing, and you had to sign up, and you actually had to bring people in order to perform. And I brought a couple of friends with me, and we actually had to randomly pick cards out of the manager's hand. Um, and I picked up my card, and I picked up an ace, and I was like, well, what does this mean? I had to go first. I was like, oh my God.
Really?
Out of 12 people, I was the first one up. So yeah,
Wow.
I had to set the tone. So that was a challenge for me because I was like, okay, I have to really be funny to set the tone because if I'm not funny, I'm the first comedian and do horrible, then that's not going to be good. So I had to really, 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 show off my chops, and it was fun.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
It was scary.
It
though.
takes
It
some
was
guts.
scary.
It really does take some guts to get up there.
Yeah, it was. My palms are sweating, and I had to jump up and down like you sort of like a wrestler. You know how the wrestlers come down the ramp. That's had to pump
Oh yeah,
myself
did you
up
get
for
to
this.
pick? Did you get to pick your own entrance music or?
No, they played music,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
random music.
So you want to go further with the stand-up comedy thing? That's your main thing, or?
Yeah, well, stand-up comedy is something that I'm continuing. It hasn't. I haven't been doing a lot of it. It's something that I'm going to continue to pursue to just build up my my timing and just observational comedy to give people a sense of who I am as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be, going different open spots and different venues to perform.
Now, there's a comedy.
Just to get my name out there.
There's a comedy club in Richmond or two, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a bunch of comedy clubs in Richmond.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't usually make it. Oh, what about Kazi's in Newport News? Are you familiar with that one?
I've actually never been there. I haven't been to that one yet.
Yeah, it's small. It's an intimate crowd, but it would definitely be a place to go to work on things like timing and trying out new bits and things. I've been there a few times, and it's a comfortable atmosphere. Everybody there is very friendly and accommodating.
It seems like everybody knows each other too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, do you ever talk with other comedians backstage, and they sort of give you some pointers, or are they is it a dog eat dog kind of profession where everybody's sort of jealous of each other and nobody really wants the other person to do that well, or how does that work?
It's a little bit of both. Because I'm fresh, I don't know too many comedians. I know I'm familiar with comedians in the area, but that's not personally on a personal level. I know a few, but not a lot. But from the experience that I've had, as far as interacting with other comedians, sometimes it's friendly, sometimes it's sort of quiet, or you're performing too.
Right.
It's very competitive, just like any artistry, because it's a dog eat dog, and you want to be the funniest person, and you want people to know who you are, and you want to see if people are going to steal your jokes and see what you can improve on. It's a bunch of things.
Then you got to worry about people that go in there with their phones and they film your entire act and then post it on their YouTube page, and then everybody sees it before you've had a chance to, perform it at certain places. That's frustrating.
Definitely pros and cons with that. Yeah.
There are some comedy clubs that will actually collect phones before you can even go in there, just to prevent that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Now tell me a little bit about this production you did, where the Wiz, where you were dressed up as a lion. That must have been fun, huh?
Oh yeah, that was a childhood dream. I used to watch that movie as a kid, and I don't know why I was so addicted to that movie. I thought it was the funniest thing ever because it was a man dressed like an animal, singing and dancing, and I thought it was the funniest thing ever as a kid. So I used to watch it a lot, and I used to imitate that character. And I would have never dreamed in a million years that I would play that character.
What was the actor's name who played the lion in the Wiz with Diana Ross?
He was the actual original. He was the only original of the principal characters that was actually from the Broadway. The Broadway came out first.
Oh, okay.
And then the movie came out. His name is Ted Ross.
Okay.
Out of all of them, he was the only original cast member.
Yeah. That was a classic. I remember watching that on TV. I remember the Wicked Witch. There was something, I can't remember. Something happened with her hand or something. There was a scene where, but it freaked me out because I think I might have been a little too young when I watched it, and when I saw her hand melt or whatever it did, it just traumatized me for about a day. What happened? I don't remember. What happened with her hand?
So she tried to, I guess this was magic. She tried to grab
that's what it was.
And her fingers bent all the way back.
Yeah.
Oh,
God, that was gross. Yeah. So how long?
That costume.
Oh, yeah. How long does it take you to put your costume on? And is it incredibly hot? Do you have to limit yourself? I guess you can't spend too much time in it, or what is that all about?
The most time that was spent was actually the makeup, like the actual making the face, Now
they
like
put the makeup on, and then you put all the fur and everything on, or is it the other way around?
Yep. They put the makeup on first. They put the makeup on, and probably I'll put the pants on and the shirt to get a head start. But the makeup, then you put the hair, and then the little jacket. They made his fur sort of like a pimp jacket, and I had a tail. It hooked on some suspenders.
I'm trying to bringing up your Instagram right now to see if I can. I don't see a picture of it anywhere. Well,
So
yeah, that,
I do have clips. I had to, you know how you cycle through your material. Yeah, you have to upload your videos again. So I'll be posting some more stuff, some throwback footage of my performances and stuff like that.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I wanted to talk about this. A freaking American. Wait a minute. Was that it? A freaking
Yeah,
American?
that's how. Yeah, that's exactly. You said it right.
Oh,
So it's
right.
a
I
play
get
on
it. It's
words.
like instead of African, it's a freaking. Okay, I got you. Yeah, tell
A
me about
freaking. Yep.
that. That
So
was a production you were a part of, or you helped put
that's
together?
actually my next single. That's the next song
Oh, it's
that's going to be
okay.
out.
Okay, I got you.
Yes.
That's the
Yeah. So
name of the
that
song.
song.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the name of the song. Freaking American. It's a song about liberation and not being afraid of being an individual. You know, a lot of people face racism, sexism. Uh, People in the LGBT community they get stereotyped and judged. So this song is basically telling people who are considered weird to ignore the ignorance and be happy of who you are, be an individual.
Huh?
And everybody's equal. We're all Americans. We all deserve to be here in this country.
Yep,
And
absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
yeah, that's basically what the song is about. So when people actually see it, they'll hopefully they don't think that it's just about African Americans. It's a song honoring everybody and just
Yeah, I look forward to hearing
whoever
that.
likes the song. Yeah, it's a
um,
country rock song.
Now, I wanted to mention also. Do you know what today is?
No,
Today is 420.
420.
Yeah. Do you know what that
Oh,
means? Have you ever heard that before? 420?
no,
You know,
no.
well, it's a day that a bunch of marijuana enthusiasts get together and smoke every year on 420. And you've never heard of this?
The ganja,
Yes.
the ganja.
Right, right, right.
Okay,
420. Yeah.
yeah,
So
man.
it's a big day, and so everybody's partaking. And I just didn't know if you celebrated that or if you had any feelings
Hey,
on that.
hey, I definitely partaken. Yes, sir.
So you are
I,
for legalization, of course, yes?
yeah,
Okay.
I mean, to be honest with you, at this point, so many people do it. It doesn't make a difference. People are they're gonna get to it, whether it was legalized or not. They're gonna get to
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
it.
Yeah, but they have a big parade and do all kinds of fun stuff on today. I do not participate in it myself. I have other family members that do, and I just, for me and myself, maybe it's just because I've never really did it that much, but it just sort of makes me paranoid, probably because it's illegal. Uh,
Well,
and
let me tell you about an experience that I've had
oh man, tell
with
me.
that. It was a horrible experience. Sometimes, if you don't eat anything or have anything in your system when you do it, you actually it kicks in faster.
Are we talking about
So
edibles here, or smoking, or vapes, or what?
actually smoking,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I had some loud, and I had a little bit too much of it, and I ended up juggling a cup in my hand. I blacked out, hyperventilating.
You wait a minute. You telling
It
me that
just
you got so high that on marijuana that you blacked out,
yes,
and you were
sir.
just
Yes,
doing
sir.
marijuana?
Yeah,
Wow, wow, that must have been
yeah,
some good stuff.
yeah. It was good stuff. It was good stuff. But yeah, I was juggling the cup in my hand and dialing numbers before I could think of the numbers. I said, okay, all right.
Now they need to take all
Yeah.
phones away from you. You don't need a phone in your hand when you're blackout high. No way. Any phone call
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
would
I
make in
suppose
that state, you're going to regret later.
yeah. I think that was probably the worst I've ever
Well,
been
yeah,
that high.
I got a funny story for you too. We were my wife had made some edibles a few years ago, and she of course warned everybody just take a little. They're strong. It takes longer to kick in. It's a different kind of high, and of course I didn't really listen, and I ate too many, and I didn't feel anything, and I went to bed, and then I woke up in the middle of the night. Oh, here's what it was. I was dreaming. I was sort of, I guess, half awake, half asleep, and I heard this da-dung, 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 and it started getting louder and louder, and then it got so loud that it actually woke me up. And then I realized, I was like, whoa, what is going on here? I'm a diabetic, so I thought maybe I was having a blood sugar issue, like it was too high or too low or whatever. But it turns out that wasn't it. But I was freaking out so much that I got my wife and I told her, I said, call 911. We need to get an ambulance here. I don't know what's going on, but call 911 and just tell them I'm having maybe like a diabetic episode or something. And so she called. And it took about 15 minutes or so to get to the house. And during that 15 minutes, I realized what was happening. I finally, I was still high as a kite, but I realized that it was just the weed. It had nothing to do with my blood sugar. I think it was a little bit high, but then I was panicking because I was like, oh, geez, I don't want them to take me away. I don't want to get in any trouble because I'm high. I was like, whatever happens, whatever they do when they get here, don't let them take me away. Just, tell them I just had my blood sugar was high or whatever. So they got there. There was like 5 or 6 different paramedics that came into the house. They were putting flashlights in my eyes and checking my blood and everything else. And I finally convinced them that I was fine and to go away. But boy, my wife never let me live that down. She brings that story up to this day and tells everyone how she had to call 911 and call the ambulance because I couldn't handle my high. So,
but you know what? If you would have told them the truth,
yeah,
they probably would have been. They probably had so many cases of that before.
Yeah,
it would have been probably normal.
You know what it was? It was actually a Super Bowl party, and it was that night.
Man.
Yeah, the Super Bowl had ended, and we ate the brownies during the Super Bowl, but like I said, it didn't kick in till like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning after I'd gone to bed. So, but I was just embarrassed, and I just felt like I didn't want the ambulance people to think that they had wasted all the resources coming out here just because this guy's, So I just felt bad and embarrassed, but anyway, lesson learned. I stay away from this stuff. It's just not really my thing, but I am all about legalization. I'm all for it. And my number one reason for that is because if you buy it illegally, you don't know what you're getting. You don't know what it could be laced with. You don't know the quality control, the pesticides. There's 1,000,001 different things. I would rather it be regulated. And, there'd be a certain standard for it. So people just know what they're getting at least. That's my number one concern. Plus all of its medicinal values. Gosh, you can't say enough good things about this. But anyway, so that's it.
It keeps people out of trouble. I think that's the best part of it.
Yeah, as long as they stay home and, it's not like alcohol where you just want to go out and fight a bunch of people. It's about the mellowest thing, where you just kind of want to chill and maybe sit down with a big pack of Funyuns and bugles and stick all the bugles on your fingers and pretend like you're the Wicked Witch of the Wiz. Hey, listen, I want to tell you, I've never been brave enough to do stand-up comedy, but I want to share with you a little bit that I have, and it just kind of from me to a real comedian. I just want to hear what you think about this. All right.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. So it's a little raunchy, but sometimes when I fart, I have mastered the art of saying certain people's names and certain words with my farts. You know how a lot of people, they can say the alphabet when they burp or whatever. That's no big deal. Anybody can do that. But so what I've been able to say, these are the people's names I can say. I can say Bart, Brent, let's see, who's that? Brent.
Okay.
Now, and when I'm sitting in a plastic chair in a shower, if everything's just right, I can say Lloyd.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I don't know if this might be an Asian name, but one time I was actually able to pronounce. I don't know if that's anybody's name, but no, that all that is a joke though. But it did come about from real experiences. So what do you think of that? That's pretty funny, right? You can have that.
I mean,
you can use that in your act if you want. Go ahead.
The Lloyd part, it definitely is a wet one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never actually listened listen, you have me thinking that maybe I should listen to my farts now.
Brant and Bart are the easiest ones. You can almost always say those.
maybe my butt has something to tell me. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah. And then sometimes, you get right out of the shower and you put a little baby powder down there, and if you time it just right, you can create a little poof of smoke. When you're walking by your significant other, you just walk by and give them a little poof, and they'll actually get a little explosion.
I would be afraid to do that with my damn farts. It'll be over. I'll kill myself doing that.
I've told, my wife always gives me a hard time about not so much farting, but laughing hysterically after every time I said, you know what, honey, when I'm 99 years old, it's still going to be hilarious to me. I don't know. Maybe it was because I was raised by my dad in my teenage years, and we just always celebrated it. It was always something to be celebrated. And I don't understand. Have you ever seen these YouTube videos where these guys, they walk around Walmart with these little fart machines and they make...
Oh, that's the best.
That's the best. And some people really get angry. I mean, they get furious, I just don't get that. I mean...
I don't understand why people think that it's something that's not normal. Everybody does it.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I'm like you. There's
it's
people
like
who actually,
the joke that never gets old.
You would think that some people have never farted before. I don't understand. I think it's funny.
The only time I don't laugh is when I'm completely by myself and I do it. And then I get mad because there was no one around to appreciate it, Especially if it's a really good one.
It's funny till the smell gets in your mouth.
And they did a biological study on this one time, but there's for some reason when you smell your own, it's not nearly as bad. When you smell your own, it's almost like you're grading a fine wine. You can try to figure out the last foods that you ate, and you study it and you sort of appreciate it. But when someone else does it, you just don't want that in your lungs. You don't want that in your nose. You're just immediately repulsed and a little bit angry, but you still laugh about it,
Yeah.
All right, I think we thoroughly grossed everyone out talking about farts. So are we missing anything? We've talked about stand-up comedy. We talked about your theater.
I do graphic artistry, too. I draw celebrities. And
oh, is that you? I saw that artwork, and I didn't know if that was actually you drawing those pictures.
Yeah, I draw. That was my very first passion. As a kid, I used to draw, and I just got back into doing it because I have anxiety. So that helps with my anxiety.
Okay.
And recently, I've been drawing different characters from movies, and I got the attention from a comedian from Blackish, Jennifer Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
I drew a picture of her. She actually commented, and that blew my mind because I never thought in a million years I would connect with a celebrity just by drawing.
Oh yeah, I see.
You know
you
what I mean?
Did one here of Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry, yeah. Tyler Perry, Sidney Poitier, Harry Belafonte.
Huh. Wow. Yeah, that's really good. I like how you put actual videos to them too. That's pretty neat. Yeah, very good. Now, what do you use mainly? Pencil or charcoal, or what is that?
That's pencil. Pencil. I probably could draw with other things, but I'd rather not take a risk. I enjoy just a pencil.
Yeah.
And,
little shading
black and white portraits.
You ever watch any of the Bob Ross videos?
Oh man, I used to watch him as a kid.
You remember that?
Yeah, I definitely. That was very soothing.
He made it look so easy.
I wanted to touch his hair. I wanted to know how his hair feels. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, and sometimes he had a little squirrel with him or something, and yeah, he was just such a peaceful, nice guy. I always thought he was really groovy. And
him and Mr. Rogers.
Oh my God!
I wanted to meet Mr. Rogers.
Speaking of Mr. Rogers, I was watching that movie a couple of weeks ago, the one with Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and there was a scene in it where there was an actress who just played one of the show producers or something, and I recognized her. And me and her actually did some voiceover work together at Studio Center. I think she moved off to Atlanta or something, and she's actually doing quite well in the acting. Kelly, I can't think of her last name right now, but she was actually, I couldn't believe she was standing right there with Tom Hanks. And, she didn't have a huge part in it, but And then I was watching an episode of Walking Dead one time, and she was in that as in one of the flashbacks to before the zombie apocalypse took place, and she had a small part. And it was just kind of neat when you're watching a movie or a television show, and you're surprised to see somebody you know.
Because it's such a small industry. Everybody knows each other and makes some kind of connection, whether it was one time or everybody has a connection, you know, in the art industry, whether they're actors, musicians, you see the same people. And I just recently saw one of my friends who was a classmate. He was working with a legendary Broadway. He was directing a Broadway actor, a legendary Broadway actor. And this is somebody that I gave some snacks to because he didn't have any food in the dorm. And I'm like, okay, all right, if you made it, then hey, it's my time.
Yeah.
You know, it's inspiring. I don't really compare myself to people, but it's inspiring and it makes you happy that you make connections with people.
Right.
And you made a good connection with her, I'm sure.
How old are you, Darius? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm 29. I'm going to be 30 in May.
Man, you are young. Now, do you plan on staying in this area, or do you want to? I mean, you said you went to New York and then you came back. Are you comfortable here in this area, or?
No, I'm not. This was actually the turning point. This year, I was going to actually jump to New York, but because of this virus, I'm just blown away. I don't even know what to think anymore because this was the year.
Right.
I was going to, because all the jobs.
Oh, yeah, with the virus thing, the coronavirus, yeah.
Yeah, it's really bad up there, too. So I'm going to have to probably wait a few more months.
Yeah, everything's sort of on hold right now. But where do you see yourself in 5 years from now, say?
Oh, I have to be somewhere where I'm performing in a large, performing for a large amount of people.
Are you talking about like stand-up comedy or theater?
Whatever, whether it's me performing my music, just showing my artistry to a broader audience, because I feel contained here. People, they appreciate art here, but it's not like New York, California.
Right.
I can't be expressive the way I want to when you have limited venues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure. Absolutely.
Everything is business here.
You definitely got to check out Kazi's, though. I think they have Thursday night is their open mic night, and I know you would kill it on open mic night. I think they've had some open micers that have done so well that they've actually become part of their regular acts that come in there.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm definitely checking out. I see a lot of comedians go in there.
Yeah, if you ever do come there, contact me because I would love to come out and see you.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I sure will.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of those things I'm practicing. That stand-up comedy is more of a practice for me. It's just to exercise my skills and just to see where I am.
Do you ever listen to the? Have you ever heard of the Joe Rogan podcast?
I love Joe Rogan.
Oh,
yeah.
That's good to hear it because he interviews a lot of comedians, and they break it down. I mean, they talk about every single little aspect of it, People who are not in the comedy might even get a little bored with it because, I mean, you kind of got to be in that world to appreciate everything they're talking about, The competitiveness and the stealing of jokes.
I was surprised to know that he was a comedian because I just knew him from Fear Factory, being a host of Fear Factory. I didn't know he was a comedian.
Yeah, he wears a few different hats. I really do enjoy his show. It's great. He's one of the guys, he's probably the main guy who inspired me to start up my own podcast,
How long has he been in the scene?
Oh,
he must have been doing it for a long time.
Who, Joe?
Joe Rogan,
yeah. I think he started about 10 years ago. It was just him and Red Band. They were just kind of goofing off, and they put something together, and it just sort of grew after that. I started listening early on, back when it was brand new, and it was fun to sort of listen to it grow and develop. And he has become an amazing interviewer over the time. One thing that I find difficult is when you're and this isn't just interviewing someone, this is just having a conversation with someone. When you're sharing stories, I always try to be consciously aware of me trying to one up them. You know, if they tell me a story of something they've done or somewhere they've been, oh, I've done that too, or I met him too, or I've been there too. You know, you really need to let whoever you're interviewing shine. You know, the light is on them. It's about them. It's not about the interviewer. And like I said, even in just general conversation, you know, people are always going to sort of roll their eyes and not want to communicate with you if you're always trying to one up them. It's best sometimes to just be quiet and listen to their story. They don't need to know about every adventure that you've been on, you know. So I wanted to sort of kind of get that down and master that before I started with my interviewing, because I don't want to just turn it around and have it all be about me. You know, I'd rather listen to other people's stories. You know, I know all my own stories, and I don't need to say them on a radio show, you know.
And it's the best thing to conversate and learn. You know, you learn more if you listen.
Exactly.
I really like talking to people. I love talking to people. That's the best.
Yeah.
And the best conversations come from people who you would least expect a great conversation from. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's absolutely true.
I like talking to the bums on the street. They have a lot to say. You'd be surprised.
Now, Darius, that's not politically correct to call them bums. Can't call them bums.
I am sorry.
They're hobos. Okay, everybody knows they're hobos. They're not bums. They're good people. They have mothers that have loved them. They were all babies in a bassinet at one time. I try to remind myself of that.
Right now, they're screwed.
Yeah, really. Oh, we won't even go into politics. But yeah. So all right. Hey. So listen. Let me. I want you to throw out if you have anything you want to plug, promote your social media, the name of your album, whatever. And then I want to. Before I let you go, I want to listen to this song. We're going to play this song, and then we'll maybe discuss it a little bit afterwards. Okay? Do you have anything? Go ahead. Tell people where they can find more information about you and where you're headed.
Well, I have a Facebook and Instagram. My business page is Suirad Marguel. It's my name backwards, Darius backwards. Suirad. Marguel is spelled Marquel. Suirad Marguel is together. Find me on Instagram, Facebook. I'm starting up my YouTube channel. I'm going to be having YouTube skits. I'm going to be posting clips of me performing. And hopefully you all will enjoy my content.
And I guess because of the coronavirus right now, you don't really have any upcoming performances with your theater group or stand-up for the time being, right?
Everything is from home.
Okay. Yeah, that's the way everybody's doing it now. Just like Jimmy Kimmel doing his whole show from home.
Yeah, Conan and everybody, really.
All right, great. So let's see. We'll go ahead and we're going to play Supernova, and we're going to let people have an opportunity to listen to this, and then we can talk briefly about it at the conclusion, and we'll go from there, okay?
All right.
Here we go.
You're like a distant star, 'cause you seem to glow, even when you're far. Can help but see when you walk, supernova. When you move, supernova. Blows my mind, supernova. I think I'm in love, supernova. You stop the world in the galaxy. I feel the heat of Venus over me. I'm flying high just like a rocket. Supernova girl. The sun gets jealous 'cause you shine everywhere you go. You're the reason for the morning light. You're my heaven in the dark of night. Everything's supernova. Every touch, supernova. Blows my mind. I think I'm in love.
There it is, Supernova by Suirad Marguel. If you want to look up this on YouTube, I see right now it has 87 views, but after we get this show put out, we're going to have 87,000 views, right?
Oh, man, that would mean the world.
It is great. It's provided to YouTube by DistroKid, and it's Supernova, Suirad. That's Suirad Marguel. And boy, this is just fantastic. And there's also, I see there's a little interview over here, like a 41-minute interview with you talking about your single Supernova.
Yeah.
I love the hooting and the hollering and the that's just great. I mean,
that was completely stolen from I'm a big fan of Prince and Michael Jackson. This song is very influenced by them.
Yeah.
And Earth, Wind and Fire.
Oh yeah. I can hear that. I close my eyes and I'm picturing you in the studio holding one of your headphones and closing your eyes and just just doing that right into the just having a good time with it, feeling the energy,
Yeah.
There's some
I had fun. It was really fun.
Supernova, man, that's got to be a hit. I'm adding it. Are you on iTunes? Is there something I could add to?
iTunes.
Oh, you are?
It's on all
nice
music streams.
Great. Wow. And it's under is it just Suirad Marguel? Is that how you find it?
Marguel, yeah.
Marguel,
yeah.
Suirad Marguel. Yeah, you got to look that up. All right. Well, it has been fantastic. Is there anything else you want to cover before we wrap this up?
No, I just I really appreciate you giving me this platform.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Now I got to be honest with you, this is a young and growing. This is like if you were to catch Joe Rogan in his early days. I'm hoping that this thing will blossom and grow. And we're going to eventually, I want to have all of these shows going to be posted up on iTunes podcast so you can get, the real deal and people can download them and listen to them as much as they want. But that's pretty much it.
I'm excited. I'm definitely going to be sharing, and I am truly honored to be the first guest.
Yeah, but yeah, sure, you sure are. Absolutely. I appreciate you taking the time out to join us here on the Clover Street podcast, and I want people to go out there and look you up and find out more information about you.
Please, thank you.